Israeli military says there have been very few injuries after the Iranian missile strikes this afternoon.
That's right. CBS News anchor Yuki Washington joins us in studio with more on this breaking story. Yuki, what is the latest?
Here's what we have so far. Good evening, everyone. President Biden and Vice President Harris monitored the attack on Israel from the White House Situation Room. Now, more U.S. forces are heading to the Middle East as Israel's attack on Lebanon has sparked growing fears of an expanding war in that region. Sirens wailed and explosions could be seen in the skies over Israel as Iran launched a ballistic missile attack against Israel.
I think this escalates the situation really in a very serious way.
Iran's UN mission confirmed it had launched the attack because of Israel's attacks on Hezbollah in retaliation for Israel's ground offensive in Lebanon. Iran also promised what it calls, quote, crushing response if Israel retaliates. A U.S. defense official confirms American forces are helping to intercept some of the Iranian missiles. This comes as the Pentagon has moved additional military support to the Middle East to help Israel defend against further attacks. The U.S. is sending 3 additional aircraft squadrons to the region. An F-15, F-16, and A-10 squadron will be arriving soon. This is on top of the 2,000 to 3,000 more U.S. service members the Pentagon ordered to the region Monday to join the more than 40,000 already there. An Iranian diplomatic source told CBS News that hardliners with Iran were demanding the strike against Israel. The White House had previously warned that an attack on Israel will carry severe consequences for Iran. Israel says it's keeping its ground forces close to the border to try to stop Iranian-backed Hezbollah forces from launching rockets into Israel.
If the state of Lebanon and the world can't push Hezbollah away from our border, we have no choice but to do it ourselves.
Israel has warned Lebanese citizens to evacuate the area, and many are heeding those calls, with Hezbollah escorting civilians out. And just a few days from now, October 7th, will mark 1 year since Hamas terrorists launched an attack on Israeli settlements, killing about 1,200 Israeli citizens while taking more than 100 hostages. Thus, the war against Hamas in Gaza began. More updates from the Middle East on air and always online. And I'll see you at the top of the hour at 5. Back to you both.
Yuki, thank you very much. Well, the first of the Jewish High Holy Days, Rosh Hashanah, begins tomorrow evening.
Well, CBS Philadelphia's Josh Sanders joins us now with local reaction to the attack. Josh.
Good afternoon. Good to be with you right now. As the Jewish community prepares for Rosh Hashanah, many, instead of celebrating, are thinking about their loved ones over in Israel. We do know that many here in the Jewish community have direct ties to those who live in Israel, whether they're family or friends who live there. Today, we spoke with Michael Balaban with the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia, who told us this is deeply personal. Take a listen.
I've heard from folks in Philly, and I've heard from folks in Israel. Immediately as the attacks started happening in Israel, folks, friends, family in Israel and locally, we were all chatting with each other, making sure everyone was safe. Certainly concerns, fears elevate, and these are hard times for the Jewish people, but it's really important that the world understands that this is not just an attack on Israel or on Jews. Iran, their desire is, yes, to wipe out the state of Israel, but that's just their start.
Balaban went on to tell us that this is a time for the Jewish community and allies to stand together united against terrorism. Josh Sanders, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Josh, thank you so much.
Iran's attack on Israel is also fueling increased security in communities in our area with large Jewish populations.
Well, police are certainly on high alert for any potential threats out of an abundance of caution. Chief investigative reporter Joe Holden is live in Lower Merion Township with more. Joe.
Natasha Siafa, as soon as we heard about this attack, I started working my contacts, both in local police and law enforcement. Reached out to a number of officials across the Delaware Valley. in police and law enforcement, and that includes the FBI. So in Philadelphia and here in Lower Merion Township, they confirm that they've increased patrols around synagogues, temples, schools, and other locations. Philadelphia police sources told me the department has been operating with more patrols ever since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. Next Monday marks 1 year since that happened. Police have increased what are known as check-ins that sources say are designed to make sure nothing is out of the ordinary and that officers have an increased presence around specific areas. Let's be clear from our sources in local law enforcement, and we've been in contact with them all day, all afternoon since this happened. They are saying there are no known threats. These check-ins and extra patrols are done out of an abundance of caution. We also checked in with the FBI to see if there are any security or alert bulletins. An agent in charge for public information told me they were going to look into it and get back to us, so we will keep you updated on that. We are also getting information from the Cherry Hill Police Department that's similar to Lower Merion and Philadelphia. They are also increasing visibility and patrols around temples, synagogues, and schools. We're live in Lower Merion Township. Joe Holden, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Joe, thank you so much. Of course, stay with CBS News Philadelphia for the very latest on the crisis in the Middle East. We'll have more throughout our newscast, and Nora O'Donnell will have up-to-the-minute details on the CBS Evening News.